Have you ever stood outside a meeting room or like a cafe, whispering your English order to yourself maybe 15 times, just to make sure the grammar is absolutely perfect?
Oh, yeah, like you're just looping it in your head.
Exactly. You are standing there, your heart is beating a little too fast, and you are just looping the exact same sentence.
Yeah.
You think, I would like a large coffee, please. Wait, no. May I please have a large coffee?
Right, right. Or could I get a large coffee?
Yes. And we rehearse our lives in our heads so much that by the time we actually speak, we just sound like, well, anxious robots. The natural humanity is completely drained right out of us.
It is such a profoundly common experience. And welcome to this deep dive.
Yes, welcome.
As part of the English Podcast for Beginners series, our mission today is to, well, unpack this incredibly exhausting habit of overthinking.
It really is exhausting.
It is. We are going to use a story-based learning approach with clear B1 to B2 level English to look at how to stop this endless mental drafting. The goal today is to help you stop rehearsing, accept errors, and most importantly, finally trust your natural voice.
So before we fix it, we need to look at the root cause. Why do we treat a simple everyday interaction like ordering that coffee or giving a tiny update in a meeting like we are memorizing lines for a Hollywood movie?
Well, it really comes down to a deep desire for safety. Like we use this intense mental preparation as a shield.
A shield, like
Yeah.
to protect ourselves from looking foolish.
Exactly. When communicating, especially in a language that isn't your first, there is this immense vulnerability. The underlying issue here is perfectionism.
Right, the idea that it has to be completely flawless.
Yeah, it's this false, punishing belief that if a sentence isn't perfectly grammatical, it just isn't good enough to leave your mouth.
Oh, wait, let me push back on that a bit because I definitely relate to wanting to get it right. I mean, I will write like 5 different drafts of a text message before hitting send.
Oh, for sure. We all do that with texts.
Right, so it makes total sense for a text message, but in a real spoken conversation, we don't have time for 5 drafts. So what actually happens to us when we try to force that drafting process live?
That is the perfect question because trying to draft a spoken sentence creates massive problems, specifically 2 hidden costs.
Okay, what is the first cost?
The first cost is what we call missed moments. By the time you finish polishing your sentence in your head, the conversation has already moved on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because speech is just so fast.
Exactly. People jump from topic to topic, they interrupt. So the window of opportunity opens and closes in seconds. You approve your perfect internal sentence, but your colleagues are already talking about something else.
And then you just go home feeling terrible because you stayed silent. Not because you didn't have good ideas, but because your perfectionism forced you to stay quiet. You sacrificed your actual voice for a perfect one that nobody got to hear.
Which leads right into the second hidden cost. And this one is, well, it is arguably more damaging: fake listening.
Oh, fake listening. The source material had a great detail about this. This is when you are making eye contact, right? Like maybe nodding your head.
Yeah, giving a polite,
Right. But internally, you aren't actively listening at all. You are just repeating your own vocabulary words over and over.
Exactly. And from a linguistic standpoint, active listening is crucial. It actually gives your brain better ingredients to work with.
Better ingredients. How so?
Well, instead of having to invent a response from absolute zero, you simply respond to the feeling of what the other person actually said.
Right. It gives you something to react to.
Exactly. If you just listen to their tone and their words, you are using the raw materials they are handing you.
Okay, so if polishing our sentences keeps us trapped in our heads and fake listening cuts off our supply of ingredients, how do we break out of this?
We have to shift our mindset. We have to abandon the idea of perfect sentences and embrace present sentences.
Present sentences. Okay, I love that phrase. Tell me about the story from the sources, the one about the language student.
Oh, this is a fascinating anecdote. So there was this brilliant language student. She had this incredibly rich vocabulary, studied grammar rules for hours a day.
But the catch was that it all just lived in her head, right?
Exactly. She would sit in language groups and be completely silent. She was internally revising and rewriting her thoughts, searching for the absolute perfect phrasing.
She would literally go to the grocery store, draft a question for the cashier, realize it wasn't, like, advanced enough, and just walk away without asking.
Her reading comprehension was amazing, but her spoken communication was effectively zero. Her breakthrough only happened when she promised herself to only use present sentences.
So how do we define a present sentence?
It just means saying what is true right now, using whatever simple, messy words you can find in your brain in that exact second, without fixing the grammar first.
I love that concept.
Yeah.
It's just so freeing to stop treating a conversation like a performance,
Yeah.
We can start treating it like an actual connection.
Exactly. A real human connection doesn't care about perfect grammar.
No, it doesn't. And to anyone listening right now, a messy start is always, always better than a perfect one day.
That is exactly the mindset shift we need.
But, okay, let's get practical here.
Mm-hmm.
It is easy to want to be present, but a conversation isn't a speech. It's a dance.
It is a very unpredictable dance.
Right. What happens when the other person is unpredictable and says something we didn't practice for? How do we avoid just, freezing in panic?
The key is anchoring. We strongly advise against planning full paragraphs before a conversation.
Because if you forget one word, the whole paragraph collapses.
Exactly. Your memory is fragile under stress. So instead, if you have a meeting, just write down 3 keywords on a piece of paper.
Just 3 words.
Just 3, like budget, timeline, and delay. Trust your brain to naturally build a simple bridge between those 3 words when the moment arrives.
Okay, but what if I still go blank? Like, what if I freeze before I even get to my first keyword?
That is where you use fillers to buy time. You need to use reaction words.
Like what's an example?
Saying something simple like, oh, that is a great question, or, let me think about that for a second.
So you aren't actually answering yet. You're just polite, but you're buying yourself like 3 seconds of calm.
Yes. And in the neuroscience of language, 3 seconds is an eternity. While your mouth is buying time politely, your brain actually opens the right drawer to find the English words you actually need.
That is such a great trick. And, well, since this deep dive is designed to build our listeners' English skills, I think this is the perfect time for a word tour.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's slow down and lock in the key vocabulary we've been talking about today.
Great idea. Let's start with the word rehearse.
Right. We've been using this a lot.
Yes, we've been using this to describe that exhausting action of, practicing something like a conversation in your mind or out loud before it even happens.
Yes, the endless mental loop. And then the next phrase we talked about was think on your feet. This is a fantastic idiom.
It really is a useful one.
It means responding quickly in the moment, like making a decision or giving an answer instantly without any time to prepare. Buying time with fillers helps you think on your feet.
Exactly. Which brings us to our final word for the tour, spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Yes, this is the ultimate goal. It is when something happens naturally and suddenly, without being planned or forced. That's what leads to the most authentic conversations.
I love that. So for you listening, I really encourage you to pick just 1 or 2 of these phrases. Rehearse, think on your feet, or spontaneous, and use them in your journal or your daily practice this week.
That's a great application exercise. And I just want to speak directly to you, the listener, as we wrap up today. People connect with real human presence, not flawless grammar.
So true.
Tomorrow, when that urge to mentally practice a conversation arises, just take a breath. Trust your natural voice and let the words fall out messily.
Yes. Let it be messy. And we spent this entire deep dive talking about how mentally rehearsing ruins our spoken English.
We have.
But it really makes you wonder how much of our actual lives, completely outside of language learning, are we missing out on because we are too busy silently rehearsing the future instead of just living in the present?
Wow. That is a profound thought to reflect on.
It really is. Thank you so much for investing your time in yourself today by joining us for this deep dive.
Keep trusting your voice, embrace the messy present sentences, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care.